And welcome back to another early morning video. If you haven't seen any of my videos before, this is my fish room. Deliberately making tanks murky before I film, just to upset everyone, but no, not really. It just happens to be that I have used Easy Life on these tanks and then decided to do a little video because I found some awesome little baby fish in these tanks. Yeah, it is what it is. You can tell that none of my videos are staged. Anyway, welcome back. Okay, this is my fish room, breeding fish for like a good 40 years, maybe a little bit longer than 40 years now. Oh, heck, it is. It is longer than 40 years. But anyway, about a month ago, I think it was about a month ago, I set up these little temporary breeding trap things because I work all the time from like 8 in the morning till 8 at night, roughly. I know, and not here. I miss a lot of fry. So if you've got an actual job, I'm sure everyone has an actual job, and you don't have time to actually look for fish and separate baby fish and all that sort of stuff, these breeding traps work really, really well. Now, I don't sell these. These are just part of a Penplax breeding trap, which I'm going to stick it on the screen because a few people in my last video asked what they were and all that sort of stuff. So it's just the bottom part of an egg-saving bit, and then you just connect your air tubing to it, and then as your bubbles go up, it just pumps water into the little tiny tray tub thing, which is that. And this little tiny tray tub thing is just a hang-on breeder box. That is most of it. It's missing its little bit down there. Let me find its bit. Watch out, Benji. He's doing sniffs. Yeah, you can tell that I am not organised. Oh, I'm not going to find the bits, am I? Oh, now I saw them yesterday. Ah, there they are. There they are. So organised right now. So it comes with, I think these are like 20 bucks, $22. I do sell these. I'm pretty sure I've got these in the shop, but not online. Sorry for all the online people. But it is a little trap that hooks on the side of your tank. And let me put the camera down and come back. Okay, that's much better. So it has a little bit like that you connect your tubing to. And as the bubbles go up, it pushes water into here. It's designed for things like a female guppy because it's got that little slopey bit where the fry will go through and protect it from the female guppy, and then the water will go back into the tank. But you can use them just as a little box sitting on the side of your tank, so the water from your tropical tank pumps in here, it is warm, and then it goes back in. So I've modified it with a little sponge like that, just to stop any fish fry from going back into the main tank. Otherwise they just get munched by the fishes. There is a lovely fish. Now, yeah, Fritz is going to kill me for, well, Fritz Australia. I don't think Fritz America even knows I exist. Hello if you're watching this. But yeah, I should be cleaning glass. And actually that comes to the thing, I should give away stuff. If you want a Fritz glass and acrylic cleaner, comment down below and I may send you one. I'll pick like, say, 5 people to randomly send one to. I wonder if we can send that anywhere in the world. We should try. It'll be funny. If you don't get it, it just means that postage didn't get it. Anyway, comment down below. We'll deal with that and then you can email me and we'll go from there. Hey, it's Fritz Glass Cleaner. Apparently it is. I should stop saying apparently, shouldn't I? It does clean glass and doesn't kill fish. Yeah, and it sort of smells a little bit citrusy. You're supposed to spray it on, and then you're supposed to get a rag. Do I even have a rag? Yes, I do. And then you clean it. I know. Wouldn't you just use water? No comment. But anyway, it is glass cleaner. If you want some of that, I'll give some away because I can do that. Why not? Yeah, I don't get it for free. It'll cost me, but hey, you can have some. Anyway, moving on. Right. We got very distracted then, didn't we? Yes, we did. So this is the initial one that I set up, which is just a terracotta tub with some PVC piping I had lying around. Drilled a hole in another one of those boxes, and this is the hang-on box, but the hang-on box is on the inside of the tank. And then I've drilled a little hole down the bottom, a little bit of sponge plugged in there, and then the water goes in here and then it pushes through the sponge. So it's a little bit more user-friendly because the problem with some of these is your sponge can get clogged if you don't check it every single day. And yeah, if you don't rinse it out and get all the crap out of it, what'll happen is it will clog and then you'll overflow the tank. So yeah, it's just a bit of a shame that the initial things that they come with, which is that little bit there, fry just go straight through, and it's got a little cutout so you can turn them upside down like that to stop the fry from going through, but little tiny fry will still go through. And see, yeah, this one is, oh, that's the problem with this one. Our little sponge has got clogged, so the water flow is going through that bit. And yeah, I think we lost a fair few fry back in there, but in this little trap, and that's another thing with a few videos I've noticed, they've got these fry savers, they've got it all set up, and they've got thousands of fry in their trap, which just does not work. Like, as soon as you start seeing noticeable fry, you want to transfer them to another tank to grow out. And yeah, after about a week, you'll get a whole lot of gunk, detritus and stuff like that growing in there. A lot of the videos, it's crystal clear, and I'm like, yeah, you've just set that up for the video. But anyway, this is not set up for the video. Not that it matters, but there is a couple of albino Corydoras fry in here. I think there's like about 6 or 8 or 10 or something like that. There's one there. Starting to look like Corydoras fry. Yeah, and they have been eating the baby neons. But I did see a neon last night. And of course, now I've added extra plant in here, which is just some Java moss and Subwassatang. Can't see any little babies in there. What a pain. But I do have footage on screen, which I'll put on screen, because I know when I see baby fish, add them to the on-screen thing. Yes, so you can get to see them as well. But anyway, simple setup. That there, air going through there, water going through there. It's just a shame about this continuously clogging. So I just need slightly coarser sponge. Oh, look at me just about lose all my water and my fry. Don't do that. Just need slightly coarser sponge that the water will go through, but the fry won't. See, Corydoras fry are a decent size, but baby neons are ridiculously small. And I think we've got some longfin cherry barbs. So it's roughly just neons and longfin cherry barbs in here, breeding away. Yeah, I haven't really conditioned them enough to actually breed crazy at the moment, but we are getting a fair few fry starting. In this tank, I haven't seen any fry yet, but these are the CPDs, Celestial Pearl Dinios in there. But if we go up here, hopefully we will see some. And again, if not, I have some footage on screen that you can actually see some little pygmy cories. Now, pygmy cories are probably one of the easiest cories to breed. Yeah, but their fry go through overflows, and yeah, if you've got a lot of fish in your tank, they're just going to get eaten by the other fish. A few are going to survive if you've only got pygmy cories and a lot of places for them to hide. But the good thing about little fry traps like this, and it would obviously work with these ones as well, is the fry go into a little area where they're easier to feed, and you can feed them micro worms and then get them onto baby brine shrimp, that sort of stuff as well. So yeah, can't see, oh, I did see some darting around. I think they're a little bit too small for camera unless we extremely focus on them. And they tend to come out more at night. Now, since I've set this tank up, well, reset this tank up, there are tons of Corydoras eggs. Now, the first couple of batches weren't fertile because I had my TDS and my hardness too high, but I've altered that, and all the rest, there's a little tiny egg there on the PVC, seem to be pretty fertile. Yeah, so there's eggs all over the place. Is that an egg? That's an egg. You can almost make out the black dot inside, which is a baby Corydoras. So that's working really well. I want to condition this tank here. These are my albino cardinal tetras. I'm pretty sure I've still got some in the shop available. They are amazing fish. I've got some Otto cichlids at the back that I do want to spawn. A couple of girls are starting to look a bit chunky. Never spawned them before. I still have to alter the water a little bit more to spawn them. But all these tanks are on the same system. So if you haven't seen any of my other videos before, they're all drilled together and the water goes through the overflow in the back in just a crappy tump. Now last time, crappy tub that was, not tump. I don't know what a tump is. But yeah, last time I filmed this, my sump was missing water and it was mad panic to actually top it up because it is pretty freezing here in southeast Queensland at the moment. Compared to the rest of the world, it's probably tropical, but yeah, we're losing a lot of water from evaporation. But that is my sump there. It's a little bit small for the system, but all it is is to just recirculate the water through these tanks. And again, the PVC piping is just piping I've used from other systems, and yeah, try not to glue it all together like I did back in the day, because when you want to use it for a different system, you kind of stuff it up. Yeah, you can't just cut it and re-glue it without it looking absolutely tacky, which is what I've done here. So yeah, if you just use that, I think there's stuff you can use that glues it and then you heat it up and it unglues or some rubbish like that. But anyway, yeah, there's a good tip for you. If you're going to set all this up, don't use the permanent glue. Use something that you can unscrew it and redo it again, and then that'll work perfectly fine. But it's pretty straightforward. The water pumps up through the PVC into the little taps. I can turn the taps off. There is a tap there. So if I turn that off, the filtration in this tank is just a sponge filter. And I can add individual heaters like that one there. So if I want to turn a tank off, I can adjust the pH, I can adjust the GH and the temperature to trigger certain things to breed. That's all. And yeah, the other thing with having all these 12 tanks together is I want to do a water change. I just take water out of the sump, add some more water, it pumps through, and there's your water change. And I only really do 10-15% at a time. Yeah, that's worked for me for the last 40 plus years. And I keep a lot of different fish, yeah. Not just what is in this video now, but tons and tons of other different fish, obviously. Yeah, that is where we are, but this is a very easy way of doing it. I'm going to get a few more of these and join them up. So I've got, yeah, one species of tetra, ideally in each tank, or Raspora. And yeah, go from there. So I still haven't done much about moving the whole fish room around and stuff. I have, though, gone through all these tanks, and these are currently unheated. My pufferfish, which are in these 3 tanks here, there's a puffer there, if we can zoom in. Oh, aren't you a pretty, pretty fish? You're going to be an evil fish. He's in with his diver guppies at the moment. I've moved the other 2 that were there in with some other fish. They were smaller than he was. Of course, we're not going to be able to see him. He's in with guppies and some cories in here. And the other one, oh, there he is, right at the back, in the murk, in with some rainbow fish. So yeah, I've just got them in there because, yeah, they were getting a little bit spooked. I think they were just a little bit too small, and I couldn't see them in there. But they're in that system now. I've had them for, what, a month? So yeah, they've been quarantined along separately, so they are fine. Down the bottom, though, I do have a pair of albino cubensis, which you cannot see, but I do have their other batch of babies in there. Starting to look like albino cubensis, so they'll be for sale in the next probably month, I would say, when they're a decent size. Yeah, they're all through the shop. I don't ship fish, unfortunately, because I just do not have time to ship fish and don't trust couriers. But if you're local to Brisbane, lots of fish coming and going in my shop, which is just in Oxley, Brisbane. I have got some of the little tiny, what are these, Texas, the super green Texas. I've placed them in this system, because this system is established and there's practically nothing except a whole heap of cherry shrimp, Neocaridina shrimp in there. I have been taking all the shrimp out of these tanks, and again, I don't have any lights so you can't see them, but they have been separated in colours, and they're in this little mini rack at the moment, which I think I'm going to move that into my reptile room. And yeah, if you haven't seen any of my reptile videos, I do have a giant room of reptiles, and it's a little bit more temperature stable. So in summer, it doesn't heat up too much. If we have like a 40-degree day, this heats up a fair bit, where like the tanks are going to get 30, 31, which shrimp are not going to like that, and especially in little tanks. And this is the difference between having a little tank and a bigger system. And again, these tanks, which are 2-foot tanks, so they're about 50-60 litres each, they are all hooked up. All these 12 are hooked up to a 6-foot sump, and all those 12 are hooked up to a 6-foot sump. Because they're all hooked up and not heated, we are at 16.1 degrees Celsius. And if we change that to Fahrenheit, for your Fahrenheit people, 60.9. So it's a little bit cold. Yes, Texas cichlids are fine at cold temperatures. Yes, you are. Well, they prefer warmer, but they're not going to die at a cold temperature. Where these little tanks, yeah, they're 14.6, which is colder again. So Fahrenheit, 58.2. And that is just because these tanks are smaller, they cool down quicker, but they heat up quicker. which is not the best. I could drill holes in those, and I may end up doing that, have a little sump so it's on a mini version of this, and that's going to stabilize it a lot better. Yeah, I would just have to have the water drip through and then go for a sponge so I don't lose any baby shrimp, because baby shrimp are ridiculously tiny. But at the moment, that's temporary system there as I grab shrimp out of this system, and my giant mess over here. Oh yeah, there's more. Which are just mostly shrimp. There is a shrimp right there on the glass. Yeah, I turned this system off for winter, and again, it's the same sort of thing. There's a sump underneath. Well, actually not that sump does those tanks. Sump behind that, and the water pumps up through these and then back in. So yeah, I just dumping ground for plants, and some nice plants too, which I am going to put a whole lot of these plants in the hydroponic setup that I've done on my garden channel. If you don't follow that, there may be a link somewhere on my page. If not, so be it. But yeah, so hopefully I'll have a whole big plant thing happening. But yeah, it's a dumping ground for plants and shrimp. Nothing else in there. There might be one or two rogue cichlids probably wiping out my shrimp. But yeah, at the moment, it was just too cold to run heaters on that and everything else. So I just moved the fish into these 4-footers. And it's mostly cichlid grow out. Yeah, I'm going to spook you. Can't even see them. There goes Benji's tail. Yeah, whole lot of cichlids, and they're running at what, 20 degrees, so whatever that is in Fahrenheit, several Fahrenheits. But that is where we are with that. Yeah, I think my plan is I need bigger tanks, like 3s or 4-footers. I'm not sure if I want to put them on their end along here. Yeah, because if I put them on their end, sort of like I have with these 2-footers, I'll have a lot more room for the Malawi and Tanganyikan cichlids, and there's more around the other side. Yeah, I just need a little bit more grow out room, but that's okay. Mr. Queensland Groper is doing well. Has not destroyed his wave maker. And yeah, I don't think I said enough about the wave maker in the last video. They are the great white wave makers, 20 different settings, work really, really well. They have like a little doohickey thing like that. And yeah, big fish though, and he is, what, we'll just say just under 3 foot. Yeah, yes you are. Yeah, he keeps destroying it, so that's why it's zip tied to a piece of PVC pipe at the moment. He is going to upgrade as soon as spring hits and it's a little bit warmer, because yeah, I don't want to move him around while it's cold. This is my complete junk pile, more 2-foot tanks. Not too sure what I'm doing with those. I'm not going to leave them here because this was just an awkward area, and yeah, more Malawi cichlids and 4-footers all joined up. If you want to see any videos on how all the tanks are joined up, just watch any of the playlists at the end of this video, and that'll be the fish room playlist only. And yeah, you'll see a whole lot of how all these tanks are set up in different systems. Discus are going so well. Look at that. That is a lovely looking fish now. And so are you. I treated them with this Vogel stuff, and yeah, watch my last video on the fish room with this. Awesome, awesome stuff. I think I'm just about sold out of it. Thank you everyone that's brought it online. Yeah, works absolutely awesome. If you don't live in Australia or live somewhere way away from us, yeah, try and track this down. It is amazing. It actually stops the stress hormone that screws the immune system of the fish up. Yeah, crazy. And these tanks being murky like that is because I've used more of this Easy Life stuff. I still have this online, but that is absolutely crazy good as well. Yeah, lots of good products. But anyway, I think that is probably all we were going to do. And every time I say that's probably all we're going to do, I see some super cool fish. Did you just smile at us? You did. Anyway, yes, we will see you in the next video, but that is working really well. Yeah, hurrah! It's good when stuff works. And thanks heaps to all my members. If you want to become a member, click the little thing down below. You get a discount on my online and in-store, and you get extra videos. Hoorah!